here, so without further ado,
Hatton has retired at the age of 32. The former world champion hasn't fought since he was knocked out by Manny Pacquiao 2 years ago. Hatton had his licence revoked last year after allegations of drug use, and after spending time in a rehab clinic, he's decided now is the time to hang up his gloves.
Very upsetting day, very heartbreaking day, but I think it's something I need to do. I need closure on my career. I don't think I've been fair to myself.
Hatton and his return to boxing.
Today, most would say his prime is past, but Ricky Hatton came in front of the camera to explain to his fans why he's coming back. He says he has something to set straight.
Please give a really warm welcome to Ricky the Hitman Hatton. Ricky. Thank you. Can we hand over to Richard Potson, Director of Boxing and the Promotions.
Okay, good morning ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to thank you all for attending this morning for what is a very, very proud and important day for Hatton Promotions and for this chap at my side, Ricky Hatton. We're very incredibly proud to announce that on the 24th of November the Hitman has proved that he is back, sold out arena, and his opponent will be Vasily Senchenko, the former WBA welterweight champion of the world. The undercard, we spent 2 or 3 weeks discussing this and the type of card we wanted to put on, and I think you can tell, having a look around here, we sat at this table, the quality of the show. On my right hand side, Mr. Martin Murray, probably the most avoided middleweight in Europe, tried to make fights with absolutely everybody, and nobody's jumping in yet, but we have a major announcement from Martin within the next 7 days. It will be an title action on the bill. It's a very big announcement. We're working on something now, I'm just waiting on confirmation, and then we'll have something to feed you next week. Also on the card is Scott Quigg. He was just been voted Britain's Young Boxer of the Year, so congratulations to Scott. Well done. You won't believe him under 30, but apparently he is. And he'll be boxing against Rendell Munro in a rematch of their earlier fight, which was very sadly cut short due to a bad cut that Rendell had. So we also have that fight. Also, we have Sergey Rabchenko, our undefeated prospect, European champion. He faces his mandatory challenger in Vitu. That will, you know, Sergey's always in an exciting fight. So that is a fight that we should really savour. Also on the card, Gary Buckland, British champion, against Manchester's own Stephen Foster Jr. Everybody's been talking about this fight. It should have happened a couple of months ago, but unfortunately it didn't. Both, Gary's on a really, really big roll at the moment. Stephen's still got a lot left in the tank and a lot to prove. And it's a fight that we're looking forward to, and we hope you are too. Also at the top of this table, we feel, myself and Ricky, 3 of Britain's best young prospects. Adam Etchers, the bomber, the nickname stands for something. He's probably one of the biggest punchers in the country. Jazzy Dickens, shortly we believe, will be British champion at super bantamweight in the next 12 months. Is very, very important for him. And Scott Jenkins, lightweight, very exciting, talented amateur, 5-0, and this is going to be a big year for him. So that shows you the card we're putting together. There will be a few more additions shortly, which we will feed out in due course. I'm now going to pass you to the man himself to tell you what he thinks of his fight.
Yeah, excuse me. Thank you very much for everybody attending. It makes me feel very, very proud seeing the turnout that we've got. Looking very much forward to going to the Manchester Arena. As I mentioned last time, it was where the journey started. I guess my fight against Kosciuszko. I've not been there since, and I'm hoping to to rock it once again. There's been a lot of speculation to my opponent, in the media. And certain names have been mentioned, and the names that have been mentioned, no disrespect to, I think my opponent in Senchenko is a better one, to be honest with you. He's a former world champion, but a recent former world champion. The guys that have been mentioned as possible opponents, no disrespect intended to, I think this fellow will beat him. And I'm 3 years out of the game to that sums Ricky Hatton up straight in at the deep end. Former world champion Senchenko only lost 1 fight, and that was in his last one, and that was recently, and that was to a damage, through a damaged eye. So nothing's changed. I want a challenge. Dead easy. I want to be challenging for world titles. And in order to challenge for world titles, I need to get a world ranked fighter, someone world ranked, someone dangerous, someone that that I can get my teeth into, and I've certainly picked that. And I'd like to thank all the fans once again. When I went on sale Friday, at 12 o'clock, I think Sunday tea time, it was sold out, and it does choke back the tears for me. It really does, honestly. It makes me feel so proud. And come fight night, I won't let you down, without a doubt. Again, it means a lot to me in the sense that it's more than just a boxing match, as I mentioned at the last press conference. It's more like redemption, redeeming myself, bouncing back and making my family, my fans, British sport and British boxing proud of me. And that's what I think I'm going to do. And I like to think people would turn around and say, well, your fatty's not changed, has he really? He's come straight to the deep end. He's the former world champion. He's probably the best opponent I could have picked. And if I put the performance on and the manner of the performance on that I expect to do on November 21st, all them boys that have got belts, I'm coming for you. But I feel very, very proud to be sat at this table along with the lads that are with me. I think, take Ricky Hatton off the bill. I think 20,000 will probably sell out to come and see this bill itself, to be honest. Rematch, between Scott Quigg and Rendell Munro goes without saying, the number 1 and 2 ranked, super bantamweights in the country, and obviously they've got to both perform. It's going to be more now when you've got, Cal Frampton breathing down the neck, so he did a good performance against Molotov the other week. And then obviously Martin Murray, who will be in championship action. But if we get the news in the next few days that we're expecting to get, then I'm absolutely delighted for Martin, because Martin is a feared man. Trust me, he's a feared man. We've sat down and tried to make a fight with every middleweight in Britain, and they've all run a mile. And Martin will get his just rewards in what we're hoping to deliver for him in the next 7 days. Probably one of the best fights on the night, but obviously I'm going to be trying my best to try and make sure that isn't the case. But I think if you know Gary Buckland and you know Steve Foster Jr.'s styles for the British super featherweight title, how can that not be how can that not be a barnstormer, to be honest with you? I don't really need to sell that fight. I think everybody knows what's going to happen with that fight. And then we also have a European title fight for the light middleweight championship of Europe with Sergey Radchenko against V2, his mandatory challenger. V2 comes to fight, and Sergey's not involved in too many tickling contests either, is he? So it's an absolutely fantastic bill with an array of talent on the undercard. One fella that's one thing, when I was coming through my career, I always had one eye on the champions. But, you know, I think a good fighter always has an eye on the fellas that are coming up behind him. And I think Scott Quigg and Rendleman Rose should have an eye on Jazza Dickens, because I think Jazza Dickens has the potential to be exactly where these two gentlemen will be on November 24th, you know. So it's a chance for Jazza to put himself in the shop window. You know, fantastic amateur, lots of talent, and you know, I know there's a lot of fights on the bill that are, you know, going to take the headlines a little bit, if you like, but I promise you not to take your eye off that little Scouser. He can really fight. But no, it's a fantastic card, and I think it, you know, I've taken pride in who I've fought in my career. You know, Kostya, the number one in the division. You know, Floyd Mayweather, pound for pound number one. Manny Pacquiao, pound for pound number one. Castillo, pound for pound top 10 ranked. Calazo, double weight world champion. You know, for 3 years' time, you know, they said, well, why don't we go for an easy opponent? You know, Richard nearly got the sack when he said that to me. I mean, go for an easy opponent. I've never had that in my life, and I don't want nothing to change, even though I've been 3 years out. And I think fighting former world champion Senchenko just sums what I hope up and how serious I am about this business once again. You know, I've come back, you know, and I haven't come to make up numbers. I tell you what, November 24th, we were training the way me and Bob Shannon are preparing already. We're still 8 weeks to go. And it just fills me full of confidence, you know, at the show that I'm going to put on for the fans, and I'm obviously going to make you proud again. But that's enough for me now. All the lads on the top table, we're all here to answer questions, for me to answer on my fight. Bob Shannon's here to tell you, if you need to know how my training's going so far. I'd love you to ask Bob Shannon, because I really am. I think I've surprised myself, to be honest with you, how well things are thus far. But thank you again for your attendance. I hope it's a night that you know that I personally do proud. And if you are a boxing fan, I think this undercard.